Am I wrong for eating my husband's entire birthday cake by myself? I'll preface this by saying that my husband's family and I don't get along. Like, at all. We're rarely ever on good terms, and for my mental health, I decided to put distance between us. Especially after I was blamed for my most recent miscarriage that happened 3 months ago. My husband can still see them and visit them whenever he wants. For me, I don't attend any of their events, not even Thanksgiving nor Christmas. My husband's 30th birthday was 2 days ago. I planned to celebrate with him. I bought a cake and a gift, but he said that his family invited him to celebrate his birthday and he really wanted to go because the birthday parties his family throw are like no others. We had an argument over this, but he told me to wait for him till he finished celebrating there with his family, then we could celebrate together at home and eat a cake. After he left, I felt so terrible. I called him, but he turned his phone off. I was so mad, I took the cake and brought it into the living room and started eating from it. I ate the whole thing, not saving him a single piece. Guess I was so angry and it made me hungry. He came home and saw what I did and blew up saying I did this to be spiteful and to punish him for not ditching his family on his birthday like I wanted him to. I reminded him that I paid for the cake, but he called me petty and nuts. He ranted and said that he didn't get to eat cake at his parents' house because a lot of kids were there and he didn't get enough cake, and what I did was 10 times worse. He's been upset with me ever since. So, am I wrong?
Am I the asshole for prioritizing my son's dog over my wife's pregnancy? When my son, 14, was 8, we got a dog. He's half Great Dane and half some dog my friend's dog met during an unauthorized absence. My son loves this dog and does everything to care for him and is a very responsible dog owner. The dog is pretty much his best friend. My wife is 12 weeks pregnant, and ever since we confirmed the pregnancy, she's been acting really weird against the dog. She avoids him, puts her hand over her stomach when he's around, and jolts whenever he makes noises. Today she told me she wants to rehome the dog, and I asked what she was talking about. She said she's been having anxiety that he'll jump. Am I the asshole for prioritizing my son's dog over my wife's pregnancy? She said there's no way to know for sure that the dog won't jump on her, and if he does, our baby could be hurt. This dog has never even so much as growled at her. She even said if the dog doesn't jump on her, her anxiety is bad for her health. She said she needs the dog elsewhere for her safety and the baby's. I said there's just no way. My son got this dog right after he lost his mom and imprinted on him hard. At times I think he loves the dog even more than me, and I'm not taking his dog. My wife said I'm prioritizing the dog over her pregnancy, but he's not a threat to her pregnancy. I just think it's a really unreasonable request. Am I wrong? Am I the asshole for driving off after my girlfriend insisted I open the car door for her and causing her to miss a friend's wedding? My girlfriend and I were invited to a friend's wedding this past week, and I was in the car waiting while she was getting ready. She took forever to get her makeup and hair done, and she came and stood by the passenger door and stared at me. I asked what was wrong, and she said nothing. I'm just waiting for you to open the door for me. And I was like, huh? Why? I assume both of your arms are working, right? She said something about seeing a trend on TikTok with guys opening the door for their girlfriends, to which I replied with, that's ridiculous. Of course she got upset. Am I the asshole for driving off after my girlfriend insisted I open the car door for her and causing her to miss a friend's wedding? She said she saw a trend on TikTok where guys were opening the door for their girlfriends, to which I replied, that's ridiculous. She got upset and said it's a gesture that means I respect her, and on and on. I told her to get in the car and not make us more late than we already are. She refused, and I told her I'd ride off and leave her behind, but she said she wouldn't get in until I opened the door. I ended up just driving off and leaving her behind and going to the wedding alone. Wow. She called and texted and called me awful.
Am I the asshole for causing drama during an important football game? Last weekend, I, female 27, ended feeling a wee bit poorly with what turned out to be appendicitis. We were away for the weekend with my partner, male 39, so I had surgery at a hospital 3 to 4 hours away from home. I had a small complication during surgery, so I had to stay until Wednesday, yesterday. But my partner returned to work on Monday, but he came back to pick me up. The timing was bad because there was an important football game yesterday, and it was really important for my partner to watch it. I am not English, so I don't quite get the importance, but it's a big deal for him. I wanted to make sure he'd see the game. I suggested booking a room near the hospital so we wouldn't miss it due to the drive, but he wanted to see the game at a friend's place. He said he'd make it. While we were waiting to get me discharged, he was getting agitated because it was taking so long. He had to wait outside, so he was in the car the whole time because of restrictions at the hospital. After a couple of hours, he sent me a text that he had to leave or he'd miss the game. I begged him not to leave and reminded I could book a hotel, but he left without me and luckily made it on time to see the start of the game. He said he'd come pick me up tomorrow instead. The hospital wouldn't let me stay over another night or leave alone. Luckily, one of my friends came to get me in the end. She didn't get to the hospital until late, and we got back to London around 2 a.m. The whole time I was trying to call and text my partner, but he only said we could talk about it today. The whole evening I was texting and calling my partner, ever since the moment he left me at the hospital. He only sent me one WhatsApp back that said he'd pick me up later but wanted to see the game. When I got home in the night, he was so angry at me. He said I was the most selfish asshole for completely ringing and texting him during the game and that I ruined the game for him and embarrassed him in front of his friends.
I hate him.
He said he cannot even look at me and that I bring so much drama with me, it's humiliating to him. I feel at a complete loss.
Bye. Bye.
I think I might be the asshole for not understanding the cultural significance of football and asking my boyfriend to do a completely unreasonable drive to pick me up. But on the other hand, we could have watched the game in a hotel room and I wouldn't have been left alone in a hospital in another country. Am I the asshole?
No.
No, and you need to fucking run.
Literally.
A gaslighting bitch.
Oh my God. It is so concerning to me. I don't want to say it because
Say it.
people are going to be mad about this. But I just think it's so concerning. Sports are fun and great and awesome. But when it gets to the point where you are putting that above actual human things, it's so concerning. You are literally to a logo, to a brand name. You are putting the people that you love in the back burner to a logo.
Am I the asshole for not getting my drunk girlfriend fast food? One of my girlfriend's friends graduated, so we went out to a bar to celebrate. It was a Tuesday night. We got the invite last minute, but we both agreed to go for 2 hours tops. I was the DD, so she could celebrate with her friend. Plus, I had work in the morning. She's unemployed. Anyways, we meet her friends at the bar and we have a good time. Then we hop in the car to head home. When we get in the car, my girlfriend asks me if I want to get food. She's drunk. I'm not. Usually, when I go out, I'm down, but this time I tell her, no, I kind of just want to go home. It's late. She then starts begging, please, can we get Jack in the Box? I tell her I just want to go home and that there's food at our apartment. She then throws a little tantrum and calls me mean, says she would have taken me if I was drunk, and she brings up the time it would take to go. I said no because 1, I was really tired and I really value my sleep, and 2, we both just started working out. We got gym passes. I'm trying really hard to give up junk food. Moving forward, we're driving home and we pass by Jack's. She then asked again. At this point, I figured, what the hell? It's not out of the way, so I pulled into the drive-thru. I'm a little annoyed, but I still pulled in to make her happy. We get to the speaker and they ask what we would like to order. My girlfriend starts telling me her order and I laugh and say, don't tell me, tell the guy. I was just the chauffeur. I didn't want to be the middleman. She got really mad that I made her order from the passenger seat. After she ordered, we sat in line behind another car. In line, she was calling me a dick and an asshole for making her order. I didn't see how it was a big deal. She has a voice. She did some hurtful things, and I basically said, I'm in line with you, getting you food. Don't forget who's driving. Call me an asshole again, and I'll show you an asshole. So, she called me an asshole again. I got upset and kept driving past the food pickup window. We left Jack's with no food.
I, 27 female, have been with my boyfriend 30 male for about 8 years. We've talked about marriage multiple times throughout our relationship, but both agree that it's not what either of us want, for right now at least. The only reason I would get married is later on for medical and administrative reasons, but also because I get to wear a pretty dress. He feels the same way, which is something that we settled at the beginning of our relationship. Now is where my mother comes in. She's always had this idea of what my life should look like. She always thought I would be married and popping out babies by now, but that really isn't what I want for myself. I have become a master at just ignoring all of her constant remarks about my relationship status and how badly she wants to be a grandma. I told her that I understand, but it's not what me and my boyfriend want for the moment. I've had this conversation with her many times, but she just won't let it go. I had noticed recently that my boyfriend was acting secretive, but honestly, I just thought he was planning something for my birthday. Fast forward to this weekend. We were hosting a family dinner for my birthday and my whole family flew out to be here. During that night, I noticed that my mom and boyfriend were constantly sneaking around and whispering, but I didn't think much of it. Everything was going great until it was time to open presents, and suddenly it gets to my boyfriend's turn and he gets down on one knee and proposes to me in front of everyone. I was shocked and immediately told him and asked him what he was doing. Things got awkward fast. I took him aside and asked what was going on and that we had talked about this not being the right time and neither of us wanting to be married for now. Turns out my mother has been telling him for months how apparently I'm dying to get married, but I don't want to tell him because I know he's not ready, and that I don't want to push him away, but that if he loved me, he would take this step because it's what I want. I was livid. I immediately went back to where everyone was and started yelling at my mom, telling her that this is a new low even for her and I can't believe that she would be so selfish, and basically tricked my boyfriend into proposing to me. She replied by saying that she only did this because she thought it was what I wanted, and I told her that no mom, this is what you wanted, and stormed out. I haven't contacted her since, but I received messages from multiple family members saying I shouldn't have yelled at her in front of everyone, especially since she thought she was doing the right thing. Am I wrong for yelling at my mom in front of my whole family because she pushed my boyfriend into proposing to me?